thoughts drift with ease. Night, night with Phee, sailing through your dreams. Oh, so free, questions flow like the tide to the sea. Night, night with Phee.
Welcome, guys, to another Phee Sports Ball with Sir Isaac the Guru, the Super Bowl edition. What's up, Sir Isaac?
Not much. Working hard, and it's really sad that football's about to be over.
Football season's about to be over. You can see it in his eyes. He's worried that, as I've told him, I'm worried that there will be no more professional football. I think we might get through another year, is what I'm hoping, but he's in denial, and he's already sad. I bet you that draft and then those free agents and that excitement going back into the late summer will be right around the corner for you, Sir Isaac.
It is, but it's like waiting for it, and then it goes away so fast. So it's just it's just a little bit to keep you hanging on. But no, well, I'm not gonna be really sad. I'll be sad for a couple of days, but March Madness is around the corner. I'm always ready for that. It's when the basketball ends that it's a real struggle. That's when you start creating fantasy baseball leagues, and you just go to a dark place because
The dog days of summer.
yeah, no one wants to watch MLB or regular season hockey. So
But if you've had a bookie since the fifth grade and you've been a handicapper all your life, the only 2 days that they did not play any professional sports was the day before the Major League Baseball All-Star game and the day after the Major League Baseball All-Star game. And baseball was a great avenue for gamblers, handicappers that would really take advantage of the general public during the regular season that wasn't paying attention to postseason.
yeah,
That would be you, right?
yeah. Also, this is the time of year that Isaac starts paying a lot more attention to horses.
Oh, he likes the old horses too.
I do like the horses.
Fee has not been playing or gambling because Fee has other things to do, so he no longer does that, but he still loves sports and he still loves math and science. So and I'm mentally conditioned because I've done it since I was 10. I'm ready, willing, and able to help you with your picks as you got in another trap last or 2 weeks ago that I told you about with that -4.5 with the Pats going to the underdog Broncos, and you almost lost outright. But now the Patriots, here we go again. The era of Bill Belichick, the era of Tom Brady, the people that absolutely hated perfection. They hated a dynasty, unless, of course, it's theirs. KC, for example. During that time, New England was either loved or hated. And then they had 2 bad seasons. Then they had an average season. And now they're back in the saddle with a great coach and a quarterback that is putting on a show and had an NFL MVP caliber season for most of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got Seattle minus the 4.5, over and under 45.5 in the Super Bowl this Sunday. Sir Isaac, what do you normally do on Super Bowl Sunday?
First of all, I want to go back to the perfection comment about people that are mad at perfection. The Patriots were perfection in the same way that if I got like a 100 on a test because I like looked at the really smart kid next to me, that type of perfection. So
You thought they were cheating
I think
with the flight ball?
I think that's why people are mad. But
He
no,
does not like Tom Brady or Bill Belichick.
I don't. Although I will say, I've said it before on the show. The one thing that I won't do when I talk about people like that I don't like is I will not take away from their actual greatness at the end of the day. And we can get into it after we talk directly about the game. But Bill Belichick not being a first ballot Hall of Famer is psychotic. I mean, that's and I don't like Bill Belichick.
And
but
you don't like Bill Belichick at all, and even
no,
you know that.
And there's no way that I wouldn't have voted for Bill Belichick. I mean, that's craziness. It's crazy. And honestly, it's gonna backfire super hard on. I'm gonna blank on the guy's name that was like the rumored leader of that kind of push or whatever in the committee. But all he did was he thinks that he like kept him out and whatever, because he doesn't like the Patriots. All he did is give the Patriots a reason to be mad. And if they win the Super Bowl, it's going to be the biggest backfire on him that he's ever seen, because their fans are going to lose their minds. They're going to sit there like, he's going to regret it. If they win, he gave them a reason, gave them bulletin board material. And yeah, that's going to be a fun thing to keep up with. But I've been kind of a freelance person on Super Bowl Sunday here in the last, I don't know, 3 to 5 years. I started, I moved to Central Arkansas, was around different groups of people, so I kind of just have been switching it up every year, just kind of going with whatever I hear about that sounds fun. Um, I've never been like a annual same thing every year type person, but I do really enjoy finding a Super Bowl party. I can't watch it by myself. That's part of the fun of the whole deal is I'd say 50% of the fun of the Super Bowl to me is the parties with the finger food and like all that stuff. That's part of what makes it so fun. So this year. I don't have plans yet. I'm gonna be trying to figure out what I'm doing, but hopefully I find somewhere or group of people to watch it with. And last year we hung out at, like, I think we were at a car dealership. As random as
It's
that
embarrassing,
sounds,
folks.
but
He'll go anywhere to watch a football game.
if they got good food, I'm there. And I normally love cooking, like something to bring too, but I'm pretty limited with my apartment kitchen situation this year, so I probably will be skipping on the cooking role. But no, I always just go somewhere, hang out, eat good food, especially this year. The fact that it's two teams that I know I mentioned it to you a little bit earlier, but it's normally I'm a Chiefs fan, so in the past however many years it's been rooting for the Chiefs and then rooting against whoever they're playing. And then before that, there was a lot of teams I just really didn't like. So it was really easy to like the Patriots, root against the Patriots. I was very like hot hot and cold one way or the other. This year is like, unless I'm forgetting one, it's the first year in a while that I could genuinely enjoy watching either team win. There's not a single like outcome that unless it's like a blowout, not fun game at all. That's the only thing I can come up with that I would be disappointed. But
That's normally the case in a lot of Super Bowls in the past. But you know what? You've had some pretty decent Super Bowl games here recently. I mean, I've seen some 52 to 17s.
mhm.
I've seen some 48 to 12s. If you know what I'm doing on my phone, Sir Isaac, the guru, is talking trash about his Super Bowl automobile dealership parties. I was trying to arrange my two other panel guests to be on here at 5:45 Central Standard Time. So we know we have had the confirmation from one, and we will see if we get another confirmation from the other. But Drew will be calling me.
Will just said he can't call it.
Okay, so
but he did give us his pick.
Okay, well, good. Then Will give us his picks, and I will give Sir Isaac, the guru, my phone when my Mr. President calls in. So Sir William Smee, the one and only, will give his picks, but he will not be able to give any commentary. And Mr. President will be here tonight along with Sir Isaac, the guru, and yours truly, Phee Smee, the one and only, the cat daddy of them all.
I normally enjoy Will the most when I don't have to hear him talk.
Well, that's part of my son's,
I'm kidding. I love Will. I wish he was calling. But no, I do look forward to hearing from Drew. I'm sure he's been working 80 hours and
he was making salmon last night because
is that how you say that?
It's salmon.
Okay.
Salmon.
Okay.
That's that half Elvis, half lisp. Oh, baby's got blue shoes.
Salmon.
Anyway, I was just going to tell Sir Isaac, the guru, that we had parties every single year. Sunday school classes would come over. Our family parties, we would decorate the whole house in whatever colors. Like we would have them, if they were the Chiefs, they'd be red and yellow streamers all over the house. And if they were playing the Patriots, it'd be red and blue all over. And we just would decorate, and then we pick and we gave prizes every quarter. Well, now my son from the Northeast is having his whole youth group over to his home, and he's doing the exact same thing except he's got some real nice decorations. I mean, the boy went out and spent some money on some decals and stuff.
Really?
We made our homemade. We cut the newspaper out and posted and pasted them, but not anymore. Mr.
That's
President's
awesome.
gone up to the Northeast. Philadelphia Eagles won a Super Bowl, and so he's happy as a lark.
I was gonna say, well, and I wonder, that makes me really curious of I've never had to experience this in my life, living in Arkansas, but what would the like Super Bowl vibes be in an area like Philadelphia area where, like, obviously their fans are super passionate and they're super disappointed. Do you think it's like gotten to, and I could see this being the case, but do you think it's gotten to a point now where they've been out of it long enough and they can still go party and enjoy the Super Bowl? Or do you think that like a large percentage of their fans are like still mad and it keeps them from enjoying it as much? That's interesting to think about. I've never,
From the psychology of a sports fan, you'll see that. I mean, in big cities, the NFL is king. Down south, it's college football. But in the major cities, it's the NFL. And so Philadelphia fans will be watching the Super Bowl. But now, what interest they have in the outcome, I don't know. But it is quite a time to party.
yeah.
And the excitement brings on connection, and connection with excitement brings on either really good feelings or really bad feelings at the end.
I'm sure the love for football outweighs the anger about not being there.
Well,
Would
there's
be
not
my
but two teams there,
guess.
so there's 30 of them that didn't make it,
Yeah.
and their fans are going to watch it.
I said their fans more specifically than others because they're one of the famous fan bases
Passionate,
that's super passionate.
Yeah.
So, but no, that'd be a fun area to watch, and especially I can't imagine being in an area like that when you're actually in the Super Bowl. That'd be crazy. One of these days, I'm going to travel to the Super Bowl city. I don't know that I ever. Well, I shouldn't say this. I guess anything could happen, but I don't know that I could imagine myself paying to go to the game. But I think it'd be a really fun trip to go hang out in the city, enjoy the festivities, and then pick somewhere to watch it.
80% of all Super Bowl tickets are owned by corporations.
Yeah.
So if you get the ticket that costs $750 to $2,500, you're not buying a family of four for 10 grand to go to the Super Bowl when you can have a Super Bowl party at your house. But if you're a part of these corporations and you are top sales, they're going to go. And all the top managers of all these companies, they go. And believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the Super Bowl, wherever it is, has more private jets stationed at that airport than any other event in the world.
I believe that.
They had over 1,000 last year. Private jets.
I'm trying to think. The only thing I could see topping that is if it's some sort of, and I don't even know what it would be, but some sort of like either political or major business like
I'm talking
event.
sports.
Oh, okay. Well, then that definitely makes sense.
Yeah, I'm talking sports.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, it is sad that it's that way. Although I get it, but I do think that it probably takes away on TV. You don't get it as much, but I feel like it takes a little bit away from the electricity in the stadium because if you fill it up with people who are super passionate about either team or just like excited to be there, the energy would definitely be different. I'm not saying that those people can't get excited. I'm sure they do, but it's just different. The If you put someone like me in a stadium, I'm just naturally going to be more excited than a billionaire
Right.
who. I mean, it just makes
They're
sense.
not even
but-
watching the game. They're doing business.
Oh, they're there to see Bad Bunny.
You know what he says? He says that we look like little boys at that desk. So I probably moved the stuff down too far.
I've never looked like a little boy in my life.
Well,
Who said
the
that?
knucklehead that takes care of my stuff. So he's making fun of me again that I didn't do right, but he makes fun of me every day when I don't do right, which is normal.
Is he the one who got it fixed up for you?
He's the one who does things, and then he doesn't like to teach or coach. He just likes to be the man.
Well, have you messed with this since he set it up?
Yeah, you saw me move it down.
Yeah, but you didn't shrink it.
No, I didn't.
So then let's blame it on him because
It's
we
his
didn't do
fault.
anything.
Yeah, his fault. His fault. Well, We spent about 15 minutes trying to talk about other things than the game. Would you like to tell me your favorite go-to uh, Super Bowl food? Is it chicken wings? Is it barbecue ribs? What is it? Nachos and cheese?
That there
Shrimp?
that may be the hardest question, especially for me, because I am just famously not picky. Like I thoroughly enjoy every type of food.
Potato skins? Loaded?
Yeah, literally anything. But I would say, let me go back in time to when I was like a kid. Like what I would say, wings are up there for sure. Um, Even though I wouldn't rank them, if you're talking about favorite foods, I wouldn't rank them that high. But I always remember enjoying taquitos at
Really, as a
Super Bowl
kid?
parties.
Well, they're very
Uh,
inexpensive to feed the
Little
masses.
Smokies are a classic.
Little Smokies are a classic.
Let's see. Normally, someone's got maybe some meatballs. That's what I made last year. I did. It was deer meat, but I smoked them and I mixed in some jalapenos, cream cheese, and seasonings into a meatball, and then smoked them, and they came out. Not to brag on my cooking, but
Of
they came
course
out
not.
really, really good.
He is a very, very good cook. I don't know about cook, but he's a very good smoker and griller.
You know what? I'm gonna go wings. Football in general just puts me in the mood for wings and
What kind of sauce? You do the
any
ranch?
sauce, but yeah, I'll dip it in ranch for sure. But I would say any type of buffalo or any type of barbecue wing, and that's I'm a happy man. I like every flavor, but those are the easiest. You can't really mess up a buffalo or a barbecue wing in my mind, unless it's raw. But you know,
We would cook. We'd have the boiled shrimp, and then
you're a big boiled shrimp guy.
I do them on every football party that we've had. Of course, I hadn't had one now in a while, so been a long while since I've been sick. But we used to have them every week for 40 years. So anyway, when we used to have all the masses, 50 or 75 or 100, then we would go with the pizza. So a lot of people have pizza on Super Bowl, but I'm a rib guy and boiled shrimp for Super Bowl.
You know who that is?
Yes, I do.
Can he please explain to me what tiki toes are?
Ah,
I'm gonna give him some time. I need you to explain what that is, and if also feel free to tell me if it's embarrassing that I don't know that. That's completely fine with me, but I do need to know. Oh, that's who's messing because you said y'all better be nice. Okay. Oh shoot.
you got to worry about it. You got to worry about him.
I agree.
Taquitos. He's listening.
Yeah, no,
That's
absolutely.
purple essence right
And
there.
you know, I really do feel goofy saying taquitos because like I mean, first of all, when people are making taquitos, unless you're rolling up to like a, actual authentic Hispanic Super Bowl party,
What
I
you
mean,
eating?
people are going and buying taquitos from the frozen section. I mean, we're talking the worst quality taquitos on the planet, but for some weird reason,
You like
I
them?
remember enjoying them.
Hey,
But
when you whatever you have and you like, my father was so. I mean, he starved growing up, and he lost one brother one day and one the next to starvation. And as he got older, he would eat anything. I mean, he'd eat stuff that you wouldn't feed to your dogs. Lunch meat expired a week. He's eating it. Pickles pig feet. He's eating it. Pickles boiled eggs. He's eating it. Uh, potted meat. He's eating it.
spam,
Spam.
spam's good.
I can't have. Okay. I went one place and it was very, very um, poor folks, good super folks, but the man was buried in a overalls, and they had all kinds of gardens. So they had tons and tons of vegetables. But the first time I was at their home, they had the little tray in the middle, and they had the potted meat, they had the spam, and they had the bologna. And then they had the greatest tomatoes and lettuce and pickles and everything else. But I was so thankful for I was so thankful
Hey, Mr.
for that
President.
bologna. I was so thankful for
Hey,
the
Guru.
bologna. Hello, Mr. President from the Northeast. How are we doing today?
Hey, Daddy, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I am rocking and rolling. We're talking about the Super Bowl edition parties and the food. And I was just telling them about your Super Bowl party this weekend where you'll have your youth group up. You've got two different rooms and all kinds of decorations. Would you like to share that with the audience?
Sure. Well, it's all in honor of you, Daddy. When we were growing up, we always had Super Bowl parties with different colored crepe paper in the team colors of the teams that were playing, decorating the rooms. And we had boards with different prop bets and score predictions that everybody who attended the parties would fill out. And then you would hand out prizes and award winners based on how people did on their predictions and their bets during the game. And I remember having just the best time doing that growing up. I remember in particular winning the year that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat the, at the time, Oakland Raiders in the Super Bowl, and then keeping those boards filled with my predictions and the prizes that I won that year to this day. So it was really special, and hoping to bring a little bit of the charm and fun that you brought to our household growing up to some youth group students at the church that I go to. So I've got Seahawks colored crepe paper. I've got Patriots colored crepe paper. I've got felt logos of each team. I've got a trophy. Um, and we're going to have a great time, hopefully, watching an entertaining game and enjoying good food and good company.
That is a great story, although I don't appreciate the dishonesty in the story because I know for a fact the Raiders have never been in a Super Bowl. That's just impossible.
Sir Isaac,
Uh,
the guru, is not correct all the times, or he would have had the home dog, Denver Broncos, plus the 4.5. You do know, Mr.
well,
President, that your daddy, Phee Smee, the one and only, he absolutely went 3 for 4 and lost. Should have been 4 for 4. And Sir Isaac, the guru, goes 2 for 3. So we're ready. We're geared up. We're ready for the Super Bowl and the props, everything else. What do you think? Heads or tails, son, right off the bat?
you know what they say, tails never fails unless it's heads. I'm going with tails.
Tails, he says, tails, although it never fails unless it's heads.
Couple questions for you, Drew, about your Super Bowl party. First of all, on the food topic we were just discussing, what if you could give your number one Super Bowl snack or finger food? What would it be?
That's a great question. I'm going to say this year it's buffalo chicken sliders. Andrea's making those, and my mouth's already watering thinking about eating them
Are
on
those the
Super
ones
Bowl
I got to
Sunday.
eat?
Yes, those are the same
Oh
ones you got to eat.
yeah,
If
Good.
you add those
yeah.
Hawaiian
Oh
rolls, you
yeah.
know, it really adds some special flavor to it.
Yes, those are so good. Now my mouth's watering too. Um, the other thing I was going to ask, are you going to do a, I don't know with how many people are going to be there. I didn't know if you could get away with it, but are you going to do some form of like funny prop bet cards for people to do?
Yes, we are. We're going to do it a little bit differently because we want to encourage students to pay attention to the game.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to tell them before the game starts that there are a number of things during the game, during the on the sidelines before the game, during the commercials that I'm going to be quizzing them about at halftime.
Okay.
And so hopefully they'll pay attention to whether it's heads or tails. They'll pay attention to how long they think the national anthem is. They'll pay attention to how many turnovers there were, field goals, and then I'm going to quiz them at halftime and give out prizes that way.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes these youth, these youngins, they don't. It's hard to keep their attention span, but hopefully, if we can motivate them with prizes, they'll actually sit down and watch the game instead of running off and doing whatever else or looking at their phones.
Yeah, that's fair. Everyone's born with ADD, I feel like now. So,
Well,
Yeah.
it's certainly more difficult with the vaccinations and the diet that we have. But I have to tell you, son, I do appreciate the kind words. But, you know, as a parent, the whole goal is to take what your parents gave you, eliminate the bad habits, and then build on the good ones. And what you're doing there, as far as the quizzing at half and making sure they pay attention to the game, is just adding to a strong foundation that you had as a young man, and now you're growing and you're getting better. It's better and better. That's better than what we did, son. And I'm thankful for what we did. So you're adding to, and it's very good.
It sounds like a great time. I might have to fly up to Wilmington,
You're invited. Come
mainly for
on,
the
let's
Buffalo
go.
Sliders. Who are you rooting for? I'm interested. We also were discussing earlier the feelings in like a city that was kind of had Super Bowl expectations or hopes, and kind of how that plays out. If everyone's like over it at this point and just excited for football, or I know that's kind of a two-part question, but what are the local vibes in Philadelphia area, and then who are you rooting for?
The local vibes are pretty split. I think that there are some people who, in my opinion, are being a little petty or are too concerned with things that don't matter, who don't want the Seahawks to win because they don't want Sam Darnold, a quarterback that they see as lesser than Jalen Hurts, to
Mm,
win a Super Bowl the year after Jalen Hurts, and then have the comparisons or the narratives being out there that, look, here are two quarterbacks that really aren't that good, but who had great teams around them who could get it done. I think that that's a little petty. I'm really happy for Sam Darnold. I would like for him to win. I love the underdog story and how some people have counted him out, and for him to
Amen.
come back and win a
Amen.
Super Bowl with, his third team now, or fourth team now, excuse me,
yeah.
um, would be incredible. Um, but if the Seahawks don't win, I'll be happy for Mike Vrabel, who I think is a fantastic coach, and
Hmm.
who was the linebackers coach for the Houston Texans when I was a fan of them in high school. Um, and I'll be happy for Hunter Henry, who is an Arkansas celebrity, alumni, famous for the fourth down and, oh man, I almost said 16. I think it was 25 now. What is it? Fourth
Yeah, I would
down
say, was
16
it
or fourth down?
28
I thought it was
or
fourth and 26. So we got it's a fourth and a long way, baby.
fourth and longer than 10 yards?
Fourth and long heroics. Yeah, let me just look up how much. Fourth and 25 against Ole Miss.
There you go.
Yeah,
25.
that's incredible. I always remember that, even if I can't remember how many yards. I'll remember that play in my head. And rest in
Yep.
peace to Alex Collins. But that's a little bit of Razorback lore, at least in local
What
recent
did what
years.
what did they call that, son?
The
Henry's
Hunter Heave.
Hunter Heave. I
Yeah.
couldn't come up with the heave. Hunter's Heave. Fantastic. Well, Sir Isaac the Guru was thinking that maybe the Philadelphia Eagles fans had moved on to the Sixers season since they weren't in it, but he knows the reputation at Philly being sports fans and fanatics. So he was wanting to know, kind of gauge the atmosphere and the environment up there and the attitudes of the people who are Eagles fans that don't have a team in the game, what they were thinking about. So they're pretty split, huh?
They're pretty split. I think in general they don't want the Patriots to win again,
Mm,
just because they've had so much success as a franchise.
yeah.
I think people who are casual sports fans don't think about how incredible the rebuild has been, and to turn the whole program around in 5 years is very impressive. They just still think of, that's a former dynasty. They haven't suffered long enough to
Yeah.
win again. And so I've heard some people say, I don't want the Seahawks to win because I don't want the Sam Darnold comparisons. And I've had other people say, go Birds, and that applies to the Seahawks just in this case.
I'm not gonna lie. If it wasn't a completely redone coaching staff roster with some key like likable players and coaches,
Mm-hmm.
I would probably feel the exact same about the Patriots. I'd like, because I used to be very passionately against the Patriots, but it's like I have no logical reason to feel that way now, especially because there's a few people I really like. I like Drake May. I really like Vrabel. Um, I obviously
Top three
like
coach
Hunter
in the
Henry.
NFL.
Yeah, great coach. And also he would be a Super Bowl winner as a player and a coach for the Patriots, which would be super
Awesome.
cool. But yeah, it's like I can't come up with enough reasons to say that I'm rooting against the Patriots because it's a whole different thing. And the Seahawks too, honestly, although the only reason I ever used to say I didn't like the Seahawks is when Richard Sherman was going on his I'm better at life than you, tear. But even them, how impressive is it for both teams? They both have a completely remade everything uh, coaching staff roster, and both teams went on a run not very long ago and are back there after some really bad years. It's really impressive. The Seahawks GM is apparently, I've never heard his name until this year, but apparently he knows what he's doing because I mean they redid everything, and yet here they are.
He's a strong in analytics.
Yeah, well,
He understands as far as evaluating talent. He's got one of the best cornerbacks and the best secondaries in the NFL. And his pass rush, he doesn't have a Micah Parsons.
Micah
Yeah,
Parsons.
he doesn't have a Miles Garrett or Giles Merritt. As Phee Smee can look at a 35-year-old fine-looking chick and say, "Yes, sir."
What would their quarterback's name be if you said it backwards?
Damn Sarnold. I got a little girl. I got a little girl. My oldest daughter. She went boating down in Hot Springs, and of course she didn't cuss. And they were talking about how cold the water was because it was down there by the dam. And so there's 6 girls and parents in the boat, and they said, "Who's going to jump in first?" And my girl said, "I'll jump in first." And she jumped in. She came up. She goes, "Woo, this damn water's cold." She told that story for 10 years because that was her first way to cuss.
Oh my goodness.
And so that damn water was cold. But yeah, damn Sarnold would be pretty strong. And if you want to go with Make Bay, we'd be finished.
Yeah, Make Bay.
So anyway, I do the best I can. It's half Elvis, half Lisp. And my mind works a little quicker than my mouth does. So it kind of makes me look bad sometimes. But I do appreciate Sir Isaac bringing that up. Now, Mr. President, Super Bowl Seattle Seahawks versus the New England Patriots. Seahawks minus 4.5, over under 45.5. Let's go talk about the quarterback, Sam Darnold, drafted high, a disappointment in New York, goes to Minnesota, has a good year, goes to Seattle, and takes them to the Super Bowl. Drake May out of North Carolina, Mac Brown, his college coach, says he's the best quarterback he's ever seen. He will be a superstar in the NFL. So far, he is being very, very strong candidate to be an MVP caliber quarterback. Mm-hmm. And now you've got people talking about the New England Patriots having the easiest schedule during the season and the easiest way to the Super Bowl, including 2 big weather games. So let's break down the quarterbacks. Let's start with you, Mr. President, and then we'll go with Sir Isaac.
What do you want me to break down about them? Just
which one you like better in the game?
Better?
Yeah, which one you think will play better in the game? Both of them have some question marks.
Oh, absolutely. I think that this is going to be a little bit of a sloppy game. That's not to criticize either team, but I think that there will be some inexperience and some sloppy mistakes made. I'm anticipating that Sam Darnold turns the ball over twice, 1 interception and 1 fumble. And I'm anticipating that he overcomes those turnovers, not necessarily meaning that they'll be early and he'll play better late, but that he's also able to connect with some great plays intermixed in between those 2 turnovers. He has JSN and he has Kubiak calling and designing plays for him that I think will put him in a position to succeed despite a couple of mistakes. I think that you saw that with the Seahawks game against the Rams, part 1, the first game of the 3 matchups between those 2 teams, where Sam Darnold threw 3 interceptions and they were a missed field goal away from winning the game. I think that the Seahawks team is good enough to overcome a couple of mistakes because he has such weapons around him and he has a really good play caller and offensive design.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I was just agreeing.
On the other side, son, with Drake May, are you impressed? What do you think he'll be with his first Super Bowl appearance?
I think that he has, by some statistics, um, outplayed every quarterback in the league this year. That's why he is an MVP candidate. I understand the narrative that they haven't played very difficult teams, but they have played, by comparison, difficult defenses, at least in
Hmm.
the playoff. The
Absolutely.
Texans are a tough defense. The Chargers are a tough defense. The Broncos are a tough defense. And I understand that weather was a factor in those games as well. I would expect this to be his best game of the playoffs thus far. Will that be good enough for them to win? I'll withhold my prediction for a little longer, but I think this will be the best that we've seen him play in the playoffs. And I think that this will be a game from him that, whether they win or lose, people will know him more popularly, even if they're not sports fans. The casual fans will also know who Drake May is after this game.
Yeah.
Sir Isaac?
I'll start with Drake May to piggyback off of that. First of all, I do agree. There's been a lot of talk about the schedule, and not saying that it's not true, but you are right. They have gone the gauntlet of defenses that they are going to go through if they win this Super Bowl is you can't say a word about that. Whether it's weather games or not weather games, I think the Texans defense was the scariest defense in the playoffs. Seattle, I think statistically people are saying is the best, but the Texans defense is horrifying. They made it through them. The Broncos have been riding on their defense all year and stayed in the game with Jared Stidham because of their defense, and they
So he
just
told you they would.
they keep they keep beating those teams, and that's no. I mean, that deserves some respect. Also, another thing about Drake May that impresses me, not trying to discredit a Matthew Stafford in this comparison because I love Matthew Stafford, but that's the other MVP candidate right now, the two main ones, and but Matthew Stafford is throwing to a couple elite, like the best receivers in the league. Drake May, while he hasn't had the passing numbers that Stafford had, it's super impressive to me, and I would imagine it's very hard for a defense because he's throwing it to a wide variety of people. I think you would technically say that obviously Stephon Diggs is their number one, but he spreads the ball around and throws it to like whoever just happens to be open, which to me is like very hard to do. It feels like you almost have to have a go-to guy, and it seems like he's done a lot without that, which I think is very, very impressive. He also obviously can run, which is a big deal. But um, and then on the Seattle side, I think the Vikings made a big mistake in letting Sam Darnold go for good old 9.
JJ?
Yeah, but Sam Darnold is a really easy to root for guy. He's been super solid. You are right that he is able to make some mistakes, and I think that that's probably got to be. Everyone questions his confidence and whether he can be comfortable or not because he's obviously probably fighting some demons from his career. But when you have a defense like that to fall back on, I would imagine that that is a massive comforting feeling for him because he has been able to make mistakes and still get the job done because he knows it doesn't all fall on him. And so um, I'm honestly rooting for both guys. I think in this specific case, if I'm just picking a quarterback, I think I'd probably root for Sam Darnold over Drake May, but that's strictly because Drake May is a second year quarterback and is obviously very good. And I'm not necessarily worried about his career opportunities. And Sam Darnold to me is he's not old, but he's been through the ringer and has come out on the other side. And you never know how that plays out when you start getting into that many years in your career. So I think I'm rooting for him. But both very solid, and yet neither one of them. It feels like we've had a lot of years in a row of like a superstar quarterback being in the Super Bowl, and it kind of feels like even though Drake Mays probably should probably be considered one, it feels like we're missing. I mean, Jalen Hurts, in my opinion, was a more of like a superstar feeling quarterback than like Drake May. Um, so it feels like we're missing out on that this year. Not missing out, but it feels like as far as like media and people's knowledge goes, it's like there's not that guy that there's been. But I think that's fun. Um,
I disagree with Sir Isaac. I think that both of these quarterbacks, as they evolve and mature and get more reps in their systems, that both of them will be elite quarterbacks. Uh, Mr. President, do you give an edge, or is it even on the quarterback? Which team do you give the quarterback edge to as we move right through?
Oh, I'll give the edge to the Patriots. But like I said earlier, I'm rooting for Sam Darnold and the Seahawks.
Okay, Mr. President's got the quarterback edge going to the Patriots and Drake May. How about you, Sir Isaac?
I agree. I think if it comes down to which quarterback can make the most plays, I think it's probably Drake May. Mainly with the running aspect of his game. But also, there's a kind of sneaky injury story out there with his shoulder that no one knows how big of a deal that is. But yeah, I would give the edge to the Patriots as well.
All right, I will call it even, no edge on the quarterback. Let's go to the Seattle Seahawks offense against the New England Patriots defense. Mr. President, do you see an edge either way there, or is that equal?
I apologize. That cut out. I couldn't tell which team you're saying, offense or defense.
Yes, the Seattle Seahawks offense versus the New England Patriots defense. Do you see an edge either way?
I think that the Seahawks offense have an advantage here just because of the scheme and because of JSN and how he will either attract attention or will be able to make plays despite the attention. And I think that the Patriots have a good shot of slowing down the running game. Milton Williams, I'm expecting to play fantastic. He won the Super Bowl with the Eagles last year, and he is thirsty for a repeat. But I still will give the edge to the Seahawks.
And the question was Seahawks defense?
Yeah, it's
or Seahawks offense.
Seattle's offense versus New England's defense.
I think I'd probably agree too. Not to just keep agreeing, but
well, you have to agree.
The man's smart, and I agree with him. But no, I think that I think what they've been able to do without like a stud running back is super impressive. They run the ball pretty well, and they seem like they can do it with either guy, which I think is probably just a credit to either scheme or offensive line. I know a couple years ago, Kenneth Walker was supposed to be, he was like the talk of the young running backs, but I don't think that it's played out that way. But he's still obviously decent, but yet they seem to be able to run it when they need to. JSN is a difference maker. I agree with that. Also saw a crazy thing the other day. Would have never noticed this, and I feel like I watch
a ton of sports,
more intently than a chunk of people. But apparently, when he cuts and change, like all of his changes of directions and speed and everything, his shoulders are like insanely level all the time, which someone brought up, and they were saying that it makes it. First of all, a cornerback and a safety's job is like they have one of the most impossible jobs, anyways.
Very difficult.
Because you're guarding the most elite athletes, and they know what they're doing. You don't. You have to be able to react. But they say that one of the tips that they can give you is if their shoulders tilt,
absolutely,
or leaning forward, leaning back, that type of thing, because they at least give you a key on what they're going to do. But I watched a bunch of clips of someone saying JSN's shoulders are like, you could put a level on them, like 24/7. And so they're saying that it makes it super hard to get any type of clue of like which direction he's going to go, because he doesn't look any different when he goes any direction. It's
pretty impressive, because that leverage is key, because what they're going on in today's offenses, they've got multiple patterns they can run. See, back in the day, you were going to run the post, you're going to run the square out, you're going to run the dead-gum crossing pattern. Mm-hmm. Now, based on the quarterback, whether they're playing outside coverage or inside coverage, or with the safeties up back, that wide receiver, during his route, him and the quarterback will know where he's going based on that the positioning of those cornerbacks. So, yes, it's a very advanced now as far as offense is concerned and those routes running. But you do agree that Seattle's offense is has the edge over New England's defense.
I do. I think that they got a slight edge. Not a lot, but slight.
All right, I will totally agree. The panel is 3-0 on that. Seattle has the edge on offense versus the New England defense. Let's go to the other side of the ball, the New England Patriots offense with Drake May against the Seattle Seahawks defense. Sir Isaac, we'll let you go first.
In this case, I'm going to go with the reverse. I think that if there is an edge either way, it would lean towards Seattle's defense. I think that I think I realized leading up or in the playoffs and leading up to the Super Bowl, I like didn't watch Seattle play a ton somehow. It had to have just been by chance, but I didn't realize how good their defense was. Um, but they are incredible. They tackle insanely well. They cover really well. Their defensive line is amazing, and I think that they have enough pieces on the defensive line that where they'll be able to kind of manage the scrambling for Drake May, and then I think that um, where it might kind of bite the Patriots in the butt as far as not having the go-to guy in this game is that I think they cover well enough that someone's going to have to win their route, and I think that the matchups probably favor the secondary in most of those cases. The only thing I will say though is they have a difference maker safety. Um, his name's Nick Eman. But apparently, I feel like leading up to games like this, you never know how legitimate injury things are. Because there's a lot of gamesmanship going on. But apparently, he has an ankle injury that he got in practice. But he is a he changes that defense by himself. He's a great cover safety. He's also they put him in the box. He's like 6'3", 220. He can go hit anybody and
He
also
can
cover.
run.
Yeah, he ran like a 4.3 something in the comb. I mean, he's a freak athlete. But if he is actually banged up, that is significant. I don't think it doesn't change my opinion on it, but that is a significant injury because he allows them to do a lot of different things with that safety position. But I'm going to go, all that goes to say, edge goes to Seattle defense over Patriots offense.
Sir Isaac, the Gurus got the New England Patriots, Drake May, holding the edge against Sam Darnold. He has the Seattle Seahawks offense, the edge against the New England Patriots defense, and he has the Seattle Seahawks defense or offense against or defense against the Seattle New England Patriots offense. Mr. President, what do you say? Where's the edge today?
Well, I like it when I agree with Isaac because it just makes me feel really smart. And I don't know what else to say because that's exactly what I was going to say. I think that the Seahawks defense has the advantage here. I know that I said that Drake May has the quarterback edge, and I think that he'll show off a little with his legs. I think he'll make some big, impressive throws. But I think overall, the Seahawks defense has the edge here.
Fantastic. It looks like that our panel is leaning towards Seattle as we come to the conclusion of our program in the next 12 minutes. We will be making our picks, including Phee Smee, the one and only, the cat daddy of them all. We used to play a lot of Wii, and I'd call him Phee Smee. Anyway, special teams, any edge there? Do we have any superstars, punters, field goal kickers, punt returners, kickoff returners? Mr. President, do you have any, or is it just even?
I'm gonna give the edge on special teams to the Patriots just because of my faith in Mike Vrabel. Even during his time with the Tennessee Titans as their head coach, he was always great at finding little advantages that he could exploit, whether that was with the rules, with the clock, with penalties, and even with special teams. And I vividly remember the Tennessee Titans beating the Houston Texans because of a fake punt. And afterwards, hearing in a press conference that he saw something on tape and remembered how the Texans special teams used to conduct their punt blocking and knew that there was going to be open. So I think that he will be working with his special teams coordinator to look for some type of edge. I don't know what that will be, but just because of my faith in his coaching ability, I'm giving it to the Patriots.
All right. Special teams edge goes to the New England Patriots from Mr. President. We are up now with Sir Isaac the Guru.
I'm going to call it dead even. I do think that is, I 100% agree with Drew about the Vrabel take. The only reason I'm going to call it even is because Rashid Shaheed is a threat every single time he touches the ball. And I think he's one of those guys that if you kick enough punts to him, one's going to get run back at some point. Not necessarily in a game, but just over the course of.
He'd love it to beat in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and I just think he is a legitimate threat. And so I'm going to call it dead even on that. Also on offense, he added a very sneaky element to their offense too, because you always have to be worried about he's going to run a vert every single play. I mean, he's going to run a deep post or a vert, but you have to cover it because he's fast as heck, and they will throw a bomb to him. That's Derek Carr. That's all he did when he was at the Saints. But no, I'm going to call it even. Vrabel he famously out time manipulated Bill Belichick in one of their games where they were going back and forth taking penalties on purpose, trying to figure out how to take advantage of the rules, and he outdid Bill Belichick. But yeah, no, we'll call it. We'll say no advantage in that.
No advantage whatsoever in that. Okay, as we move through now our final picks and give the MVP of the game, we will start with Mr. President. His score of the game, who he likes as far as the Seattle minus 4.5 and over under 45.5. Mr. President, give us your prediction, please.
Okay, can you tell me what to go with first, and I'll go through them one at a time.
We'll go to with the game. Then the point spread 4.5 Seattle, over under 45.5, and then the MVP. And you can give us a final score if you'd like.
Okay, thank you. I think that is there a drum roll? I think that the Seattle Seahawks are going to win. I do not think that they're going to win by 4.5 or by more than 4.5. I think that the Patriots will cover. I think that it's going to be an exciting game throughout. I think that Jackson Smith-Njigba is going to win the MVP with 2 touchdowns and over 125 receiving yards. And I'm forgetting what I was supposed to say last.
There's your prop bet, folks, right there. A final score.
A final score. Okay, thank you. Yeah, my final score prediction is going to be 34 Seahawks, 31 Patriots.
34-31 Seahawks over the New England Patriots. Mr. President likes the New England Patriots plus the 4.5 and over big 45.5. He's usually got 65 points being scored in the Super Bowl. 80% of Super Bowls go over, folks. So Mr. President is right on the mark. Turning now to Sir Isaac the Guru, we will go with the same. You like Seattle minus the 4.5, over under 45.5. The pick of the game and the MVP. Sir Isaac the Guru, have at it.
A
lot of show notes, a lot of show prep on this show, I tell you.
I believe in my heart that the Seahawks are going to win, but I am going to pick, for the sake of the show, the Patriots to win, which means they will cover. I think that Drake May will be the cliche MVP, and I think that the final score will be 23-21 Patriots.
I don't know if I can keep calling the Sir Guru after that. I have to tell you, that was rough on me. 23-21, that's a tough score to get. A lot of field goals there, 9 maybe. And
Good defense.
Good defenses, yes. And so far, by the way, when you say 23-21, that's under. So Sir Isaac the Guru has, for some reason, the Patriots losing,
Winning.
Well, that makes more sense with Drake May being that MVP.
Yes,
then.
yes,
Thank
yes.
you so much.
No
Goodness gracious!
No
I thought, I'm telling you, I thought, my goodness, he's picking the Super Bowl MVP from the losers and then saying they only scored 21. Okie dokie. Well, that makes more sense, folks. We've got Mr. President with plus 4.5 and the Patriots and over. We have Sir Isaac the Guru with the Patriots plus 4.5 and under. The MVPs, I like both of them. Have you given yours?
Yeah, I'm going to go Drake May.
Drake
May.
And
he is on the winning team.
Yeah, he's on the winning team. And so
make day.
All right. Well, Phee Smee, the one and only the Cat Daddy Mall, he will give his Super Bowl picks as he will take the Seattle Seahawks minus the 4.5 in a rout with Sam Darnold winning the MVP in a landslide. Final score, Seattle Seahawks 38, New England Patriots 14. I certainly appreciate you guys tuning in tonight to Sports Ball with Sir Isaac the Guru and Mr. President. Do we have any final thoughts on the Super Bowl weekend, Mr. President, before we let you go?
No, thank you so much for having me on. This was a lot of fun. You know, it's difficult when you make predictions like this to be consistent, and it's tempting to throw out inconsistent predictions all over the place, throw everything at the wall, and hit on a couple. But I think all three of us were pretty consistent in our predictions. Sometimes that makes you look like a genius. Sometimes it makes you look not so smart. But it's fun to do this with all of y'all, and I know that whatever happens on Sunday during the Super Bowl, whether we look like geniuses or whether we look like not geniuses, we're going to have a great time watching the game.
It is a family tradition, son. I certainly appreciate you tuning in. I love you. I can tell you that your predictions are always solid, whether you win or lose, whether you look like you don't know what you're talking about or whether you look like a genius. That's why they play the game. Turnovers always make the difference when it comes to who wins the game. And this Super Bowl weekend, we will find out who has the most turnovers. Mr. President says that Sam Darnold will have 2, and they will still win the game but won't cover. Sir Isaac the Guru hasn't told us anything about his turnovers. Do you have any type of speculation on turnovers? Pretty clean game, or is it going to be all over the field?
It wouldn't surprise me if it's all over the field, but I would bet that it ends up being pretty equal. I could see both sides turning it over.
Mr. President, what are you putting your over-under turnover line at? 3.5 or 2.5?
I was going to say 2.5, but I'll go 3.5 because I would not be surprised with some type of fumble from a receiver or running back on the Patriots as well. So I'll set it at 3.5 just for fun. I don't know what it is really.
What would you you'd take the over or would you take the under?
I would take the under. I would say it's going to be 3 turnovers. I think it's going to be a sloppy and high-scoring game.
Fantastic. Sir Isaac, do you have anything else to say? Any wise information about any basketball picks this week before we end the show?
First of all, 2 good touchdown bets if you want them just for the sheer chance of hitting a big ticket is I think his name's Jake Bobo for the Seahawks. I think he's like 30-something to 1 to score a touchdown. He caught a touchdown last week. And then there's a cornerback for the Patriots that's also their punt returner. And I'm considering betting on him to get a pick 6, which is a super random thing. But
speaking of prop bets, I can only tell you this. I have 1985 Chicago Bears versus the New England Patriots. William the Refrigerator Perry, 10 to 1 to score a touchdown. I had 200 on him, won 2,000.
Dang.
There's your prop bet right there.
Refrigerator Perry.
Refrigerator Perry, the 380-pound defensive tackle for the Chicago Bears, ran a touchdown in from the 1-yard line in the 1985 Super Bowl. Go and watch it when you'd like to.
Super quick basketball ones. I put down a few. These are just games on Friday and Saturday. UConn goes to St. John's. They're a 1.5-point favorite. I like UConn to cover that game. Michigan State coming off a bad loss gets Illinois at home. And I think Michigan State bounces back. They're a 1.5 point favorite. I think they cover. And then Houston's going to BYU. I think BYU is a little bit overrated against the really good teams this year, but they're getting a bunch of hype because of the AJ DeBansta, who's going to be a top 2 pick next year. But Houston is going to probably show him what really mean defense looks like, and he's probably not going to. I can't imagine he plays super well. But Houston's -2 going to BYU, and I would take Houston in that
That
game
seems
too.
like to me Houston would beat BYU by more than 2, ladies and gentlemen. That would be Fee's best bet of the weekend besides the Super Bowl. Folks, we do appreciate you tuning in to Fee's Sports Ball with Sir Isaac the Guru and Mr. President as our special guest panelists tonight for our Super Bowl edition. I want you guys to be safe, stay home if you can, stay inside, enjoy, party, be excited about this Super Bowl, folks. Football season is special, and it's fixing to be over. And I hope we get at least one more good year moving forward. So God bless you guys. Enjoy a great weekend with the Super Bowl. Be safe and have a great time watching. Thank you guys. And remember, no matter what you're doing, you're missing something. So let's make what we're doing worth what we're missing. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Drew.